All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for real people, just like you and just like me. The Doobie Brothers drop another amazing song off of their studio album Liberté, or Liberté, or just Liberty. I don't know. I'm going to go with Liberté, okay, because they got a little accent there on the E. This is an album that came out last year, late last year, and of course flew under the radar, mostly because I think, the Doobie Brothers are just old news, right? They've been around for decades. They finally got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Took forever to get them in, even though I would say their body of work is actually more impressive than a lot of other bands, even the Eagles, quite frankly, because the Doobies have more output. And some of those albums are start to finish absolute masterpieces like Minute by Minute, Taking It to the Streets. I'm just trying to think of all The Captain and Me. I mean, just so many very impressive records over their career. I was in radio when Cycles came out, which was the Tom Johnston reunion, basically, where they got back a lineup that was more like their pre-Michael McDonald lineup. And that album just tore the roof off the place. And then Brotherhood came next. And that was basically a great continuation of what happened on Cycles. And now Liberté kind of picks up where those two records left off. Production values and just the texture of these songs is a real return to form for a band that really hasn't lost it. Tom still sounds like Tom. Yeah, his voice has aged a bit, but he's right there and is convincing, singing this new material, as well as Pat Simmons and was it John McPhee, who is there as well, who was with this band off and on over the years. It's actually kind of hard to follow all the different lineups. I know they've been touring with Michael McDonald too, as far as this whole 50th anniversary and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Really, the thing-demic really threw the Doobies a loop, because they were supposed to tour and be in the Hall of Fame and really sort of piggyback off of all of those awesome things happening at once. And in the midst of all of this great album completely lost on so many fans of this band. And of course, no radio support, but classic rock radio stations all around the country. Easy, the brand new single from the 2021 studio album Liberté, was just released. And here at Classic Rock Radio, we're not going to be playing this new song. Again, what are these people thinking, right? They're going to tell their audience, hey, the band's got a new single out. We're not going to play it, but here's the new single. Go listen to it on YouTube. Go listen to it on Spotify. Just don't bother with us, because we're just going to play, listen to the music 14 times, whatever song that's in rotation, because this might offend some people, or people might tune out. We couldn't do the whole yesterday and today thing like stations used to do, right? To introduce a new song to their format, which is really perplexing, because this thing, go listen to this song. This is going to have you thinking of the vintage years of the Doobie Brothers. The tune was written by Tom Johnston and the album's producer, John Shanks. And the band is, of course, busy doing their tour. And this is supposedly their 50th anniversary, a little bit late, but they're still doing it, featuring Pat Simmons, John McPhee, and Michael McDonald. They'll be doing an 8-show Las Vegas engagement at Zappos Theater, running from May 13th through May 28th. The tour then hits the road for a summer leg starting June 1st in West Palm Beach, Florida, and mapped out through a July 14th show in Noblesville, Indiana, followed by a series of fall concerts running through a September 2nd gig in Pelham, Alabama, until an October 12th performance in Nashville. Of course, you can check out the full touring schedule at thedoobiebrothers.com. I mean, seriously, this is their strongest material since the Brotherhood album. And, you know, they had a couple of pretty good records in between there. But, you know, again, the 90s come along, and who are the Doobie Brothers, right? They can't be on rock radio anymore. We'll just toss them off because they're not angry enough, and they tend to do a lot of roots-oriented blues and R&B and all the great stuff that they're known for, some folky stuff, even some twangy stuff. And then if you have, you know, Michael McDonald on board, then you get a whole other dimension. Some would say it's yacht rock or whatever. This is just a great American band, one of the finest American bands, and one of the best bands out there still that can actually perform and sound good, even though I think pretty much everybody is probably in their late 60s or early 70s. It doesn't matter. These guys just are terrific, and they've always put on a great show. I saw them back in the late 80s when Cycles came out. I got to go see them. Joe Walsh opened up, and they tore the roof off the place, and they had everybody on their feet almost the entire time. In any event, check out the new song, Easy. It's easy on your ears, which again, some will say is cheesy. Easy is cheesy. I don't think it is. I think it's a great song, and it's really a throwback to when this band was on top of the world back in the 1970s. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. See you soon.